Palmolive soap, your beauty hope, and luster cream shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Neela Lamb. Later that morning, we catch up with our Miss Brooks in the school library.
I'm glad that you agreed to help me sort out the library, Walter. You're not missing any classes, are you?
Oh, shucks, no. Besides, the teacher didn't even see me leave.
That's what I like. Nice, observant teachers. I need to concentrate on these records. Walter, do me a favor and take these books over to the biography section.
Oh, Miss Brooks, I'm glad I found you here. Daddy wanted me to remind you to let him know the minute you're finished.
Yes, Harriet. I already had that mirth-provoking conversation with Daddy. I mean, Mr. Conklin. He's really clamping down today.
Don't I know it? Even I'm feeling the pinch.
You met Walter?
No, I'm serious. He cut the budget for our home economics class.
Have you tried talking to him?
Oh, sure. But it won't do any good. He refuses to listen to me or to Mother. But maybe if you tried, Miss Brooks?
Actually, I've already been recruited by Walter Denton to talk to His Highness. I mean, your father.
Oh, that's terrific. Maybe you could ask Daddy for a new sewing machine for home ec. Susie Prentice sewed her fingers together last week. Now the machine is broke and our classes have been suspended.
Okay, I should probably start writing this down. Now, Walter wants 6 new pairs of trunks, plus more coal for heating in the gym.
Oh, the home ec class needs more coal too. This school is freezing.
Okay, more coal for home ec. And a new sewing machine. There, that's not too bad.
Ooh, I see Mr. Boynton in the hallway. I guess you want to be alone.
Don't be ridiculous, Harriet. Now get lost.
Okay, Miss Brooks. See you at lunchtime. Good luck with Daddy.
Believe me, I'll need it.
Morning, Harriet.
Good morning, Mr. Boynton. You stopped by to say hello to Miss Brooks?
Oh, is she here? I just wanted to return this book.
She's over by the checkout desk. You know what you should do, Mr. Boynton?
Oh, what?
Sneak up behind her, put your hands over her eyes, and say it's Lover Boy.
Harriet!
See you in class, Mr. B.
Kids, I don't know where they get their ideas. Good morning, Miss Brooks. I didn't know that you'd been reassigned to the library.
It's just temporary. Walter was in charge for the past 3 weeks, and you can see the result. Won't you have a seat?
Thanks. I was just coming over to return this book.
Is that the reason I haven't seen much of you this week?
To be honest, the book did rather grab my attention.
What book had you so fascinated? Rostand Cyrano de Bergerac. Why, Mr. Boynton, I had no idea you were into such romantic literature.
Oh, sure. Everyone thinks all I care about is my frogs and science experiments. But the truth is, I have another side, Miss Brooks.
You do?
Yes, you'd be surprised at some of the things I think about late at night.
I bet.
That book really reminded me of my youth. I used to be, well, romantic.
Those were the days.
You might not believe this, but I used to write poetry when I was just a lad.
You did?
Oh, sure. You know, Miss Brooks, sometimes when I think of you, well...
Go on.
What I'm trying to say is, If I were to, if you were to receive,
Mr. Boynton, what are you trying to ask me?
well, it's like this. Miss Brooks,
Yes, Mr. Boynton?
would you?
Miss Brooks.
Oh, for God's sake, Walter, what is it?
Oh, I was just wondering. I didn't interrupt anything, did I?
Just my future happiness.
Well, I'll leave you two alone.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going.
No, wait.
Maybe we can talk again at lunch. And Walter, before you go, I wanted to have a quick word with you.
Sure thing, Mr. B.
Yes, and when you're done, come back. I want to have a word with you too about appropriate lapses in conversation.
Yes, Miss Brooks. What can I do for you, Mr. Boynton?
Well, you can tell me where you were during the lab this morning. You didn't think I saw you sneak out when my back was turned.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Boynton. It's just that I knew that Miss Brooks needed a hand in the library, and since I was kind of responsible...
I understand, but you should have come to me. I would have given you permission.
Yes, sir.
Another thing, Walter. You sneaked out so quickly, you forgot your lab book. I brought it for you. This slipped out. Read it out loud, Walter.
Oh, gee, Mr. Boynton, do I have to? It's kind of personal.
Go ahead. Read it.
'Tis but for you that my heart does beat, and over it does repeat. As it says your name, it twists like a lariat, just because your name is Harriet.
Now, can you imagine what would have happened if Mr. Conklin was to get a hold of this letter?
The Bastille at dawn?
Worse than that. It would probably mean instant expulsion.
Gee, you're not going to rat on me, are you, Mr. Boynton?
No, of course not. I was young once, too. In fact, I was once very fond of writing poetry.
It's hard to imagine you writing love notes.
Oh, I just finished reading Cyrano de Bergerac. In it, there was a lovely bit of verse, one of my favorites. Let me see if I can recite it for you. Your name hangs in my heart like a bell's tongue, and evermore with love I tremble. The bell swings and your name rings. Everything you do lives in my heart.
It's pretty mushy.
No, it is not. It's one of the loveliest passages in romantic literature. Here, let me write it down for you. I bet it would go a long way in your pursuit of the fair Harriet.
Thanks, Mr. B. Boy, you have the nicest handwriting. Just about any time Harriet sees your writing on the board, she practically swoons.
Oh, that's very flattering.
I almost hate to ask it, but Mr. Boynton,
Yes, Walter?
if this works, will you be my best man?
Oh, there's the next period. Good luck with the note.
Thanks again, Mr. B. That was the bell, Miss Brooks. I better get to my next class. See you at lunchtime. Oh, Mr. Conklin.
Ah, Denton. I was hoping that I would run into you, just not under these circumstances.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Conklin.
Not as sorry as you will be, Denton. Now, perhaps you can tell me just what the meaning of this is?
That's the proof for tomorrow's editorial.
Oh, and a juicy one it is. Now see here. This kind of rampant mutiny will not be tolerated at Madison. Do you hear me? Do you have any idea of the effect these words could have if printed?
Well, sure, conditions at Madison might improve.
Oh, is that what you think? Well, let me set you straight, Denton. You are hereby removed as head of the newspaper.
You can't do that.
Oh, I'm just starting. I'm also removing you as head of football, baseball, and basketball teams.
But that's an outrage. I have as much right to extracurricular activities as the next student.
I'm afraid you just won't have time, seeing as how you're on permanent detention. You will report to me after school every day for the rest of the semester. And on top of that, if you step out of line just once more, I'll personally see to it that you're expelled. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Don't you think you were a little hard on the boy, Mr. Conklin? After all, it's just an article in a school newspaper. Nobody reads the thing anyway.
On the contrary, I think that I was more than fair. And don't think I'm not aware of the hand you played in all of this. I know that you're in league with that idiot Denton, and I'm warning you, if you ever...
Hi, Daddy. Did you happen to run into Walter Denton?
It's in the hands of the insurance companies now. See you at lunch, Harriet. Good day, Miss Brooks.
It was, wasn't it?
Daddy has that look again.
Daddy's had that look so often it should be carved in Mount Rushmore. Did you want to see me, Harriet?
No, I just wondered if you needed any help. You looked pretty worn out when I saw you this morning, Miss Brooks.
I thought you had a class.
Well, yes, it was home economics. We were just there long enough to shiver and look at the sewing machine, and then Miss Hastings dismissed us for a study period.
Well, frankly, I could use a bit of help. If you could start organizing the reference bookshelves, maybe I can finally get a crack at these files.
Golly, Miss Brooks, haven't you even started?
It's been like Grand Central Station in here all morning. Please, Harriet, I have to get some work done.
Well, if you need anything, just holler.
These crazy kids never give me a minute to myself.
Hi, Miss Brooks.
Hi, Stretch. Long time no see.
I was wondering if I could talk to you for a minute.
Sure. I wasn't doing anything important anyway.
Oh, good. Then I won't be disturbing you no ways. Now see here, Miss Brooks. I'm in a mental quarry.
A mental what?
Quarry. You know, a predicament.
Ah, one of those.
It's like this, Miss Brooks. I think I'm in love.
In love?
Sure. Well, I think so anyway. Every time I think about this girl, it makes my undershirt roll up and down like a Venetian blind.
That's love, all right.
But it's got me confused.
That's understandable. Can you tell me who this girl is?
It's a secret, Miss Brooks. Gosh, I'm in just an awful state.
Why don't you ask her out? You're a very nice boy, Stretch. The top athlete in school. I'm sure any girl would love to be your date.
The problem is, the girl I like already likes somebody else.
Well, that's not a major obstacle, Stretch. Lots of girls like to play the field before starting something serious. Do you know her boyfriend?
Yeah, it's my best pal, Walter Denton.
Oh, I see.
I guess I kind of let the cat out of the bag, didn't I?
It wasn't let out, Stretch. It was ripped out. But let's get this straight. Obviously, you're talking about Harriet Conklin.
Yeah, that's right. That's the girl I'm gone on. I can't help it, Miss Brooks. Even though I know Walter is gone on her too, I just can't help it. I'm gone.
Real gone. Does Harriet know how you feel about her?
Oh, gosh, no. I couldn't do that to Walter. He's my best pal in the whole world. Me and him are insufferable.
You're getting warmer. You mean that you're inseparable, Stretch?
Yeah, that too.
At some point, you're going to have to tell Harriet.
Oh, no. I just want to worship her from afar.
As a charter member of the Worship from Afar Club, I can assure you that it's no fun.
But what about Walter?
Walter is a big boy. Besides, it isn't really up to him. It's up to Harriet.
I have tried to give her some hints.
Like what?
For instance, I've been putting love poems in her dessert every day for the past week.
Oh, so you're the one.
Yeah, I'm the one, all right. Some friend I turned out to be.
Don't worry, Stretch. Walter will forgive you. And if he doesn't, I'm sure you can find someone else to tell you about the rabbits.
There's another problem. For the past week, I've been using this book I found in the library. Love Poems by Omar Khayyam.
Yes?
But today, I went to go look for it, and it's gone.
Oh, that was probably Walter.
Walter?
Never mind, Stretch. Why don't you try and write her a poem yourself?
Gee whiz, you think I oughter?
Yes, Stretch, I think you oughter. Now, why don't you go and find a quiet corner of the library to write Harriet a nice long poem?
That's a swell idea, Miss Brooks.
And Stretch, take your time. Take several hours if need be.
You bet, Miss Brooks. See you later.
By all means. Oh, one more interruption and I think I'll...
Miss Brooks, may I join you for a moment?
Well, please come in. Say, you're Janice Brill, aren't you?
So you know who I am then, Miss Brooks?
Of course. You're the principal of Clay City High. Mr. Conklin talks about you all the time.
I'm sure he does. You can't believe everything that old blowhard says.
He says you two are intense rivals.
That's right. Started way back before we even started teaching. We went to school together, you know. Even in state normal, I found him abnormal. And from then on, it just grew into the healthy animosity we have today. Actually, I think a little bit of competition is healthy, keeps the blood racing. Madison High and Clay City High have consistently been at the top of the local high school ratings. And I think that fosters a friendly rivalry between the two schools, especially when it comes to academics and sports. That's one of the reasons I stopped by. I wanted to tell you about some of the fantastic strides we're making at Clay City High.
Your school hasn't been affected by the budget cuts?
Some things are unavoidable, but as principal of Clay City, I feel that it is my duty to make things as smooth as possible for my teachers. After all, my dear, you teachers are the foundation on which our future is built.
That's very flattering, Miss Brill.
Call me Janice.
At my school, I feel it is important that we have an open line of communication between faculty and student alike. Connie, do you mind if I call you Connie?
Please, go right ahead, Janice.
Connie, I'm going to make you a bold proposal. To state matters as clearly as possible, I want you, Miss Brooks.
That's pretty clear.
I want you to teach at Clay City, is what I mean, of course.
Oh, of course.
These are bold times, and that calls for bold, decisive action. Some people might accuse me of being underhanded for trying to pillage a teacher right under Mr. Conklin's nose. But you have to be aggressive in today's climate. When I see something I want, I must have it. And Connie, I want you. Your talents are being wasted here. Mr. Conklin doesn't know what a gold mine you are. You're dynamite, Connie. It makes me sick to my stomach to think of you stagnating here as a lowly English teacher.
Well, I'm not exactly stagnating.
At Clay City, you'll have opportunities for advancement. Do you know we have an opening for head of the English department? You'd be a natural for it. And think of the extra salary. Think of the extra prestige. Why, in a few years, you could be vice principal. With you by my side, there is so much we could accomplish. Think of what we could do. There is no telling where this could all lead.
Today, Madison. Tomorrow, the world.
Exactly.
They're popping out of the woodwork today. Must be a full moon. Can you imagine my working at Clay City? Well, it would mean a better salary for one thing, and a better teaching position. Probably more respect within the teaching community. But then again, I'd have to say goodbye to all my friends here at Madison. Mrs. Davis, Walter, Harriet, and then of course there's Mr. Boynton. I couldn't possibly leave him. Not after 5 years of practically going steady. Oh well, I better get back to these files. Now, where was I?
Miss Brooks, you won't believe it. The most wonderful thing has happened. And you are the first person I have to share it with.
Really?
It's my guinea pig. triplets!
Oh, that's terrific, Mr. Boynton. Congratulations.
Are you all right, Miss Brooks?
I'm fine, Mr. Boynton.
I was hoping you'd come and take a look at them.
Sure.
I'll see you at the lab then. Oh boy, triplets!
Clay City?
Our Miss Brooks was brought to you by Haven Theater, based on the classic radio series created by Al Lewis and produced by CBS Radio. Our Miss Brooks was played by Neela Lem. Others in tonight's cast include Paul Bilodeau, Rick Sutton, Eric Mrakovich, Kim Crosscup, Joel Hazard, and Mary Bean. Good night from all of us here at Haven.